Many of these perpetrators are unarmed terrorists. Terrorists in sheep's clothing that come across as being the good guys. Like, hey, we're here to watch you, we're here to protect you, we're here to let you know that we care. But they don't give a damn about you. Let me tell you something. I moved here to Florida over harassment by Jewish people in Austin, Texas. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, I was harassed by people that have served in the Army, women that are confirmed to work in the Army. And I caught people that are active duty in the military throwing poop, large amounts of trash. My neighbors complained about it. They were infuriated. Why someone would dump a large amounts of like cigarettes and poop around my mat. Because when the wind blew it, it got on their stuff. Very trashy. So what these people try to do is base their activities based on deniable plausibility. They try to do it when no one's looking, but sometimes they get caught. And I have witnesses concerning this activity that have experienced it in every state. So I'm helping a relative move that lives in a major city. I live in Orlando, they live in another city. And to help them save money for their move, because moving's expensive, I figured I would help them out. So I'm driving this little moving truck. I'm in a different city with over 1 million people. And I go to a gas station, there's no one there except the gas station clerk. And upon arrival, seconds upon arrival, a car parks on each side of me. So I look and I see a woman at the same exact time. I look to the side, they both put a cigarette in their mouth. They never touch the cigarette until it gets to the very end. So I'm tinkering around with the GPS to see how I can bypass traffic. And I notice when the cigarette gets to the very end is when they turn it out. In a major city, I'm thinking, I smoked for 20 years. I've been around thousands of women in my lifetime. Everyone has. It's an adult. And I started thinking, how many women have I seen smoking a cigarette without never touching it? Like they're a cowboy smoking a cigar. So I figured, it's a coincidence. So I drive a mile and I decided to pull off the road. And I seen this old plaza. And I decided I'll park smack in the middle, and there was probably like 300 parking spaces. And a car parks right next to me. The lady gets out of the car and she slams the car door. It sounds like she slammed it as hard as she could. And she walked around. She stood on the driver's side, lit a cigarette. She's staring right at me. She's blowing the smoke right towards my car. So as I drive off, she does this right here. With her finger, like, not on her mouth, but right, like, below her nose. It's like, So I visit my relative a week later. And a car pulls up, it's a lady, and she walks up to me and she goes, psst. She gets back into the car and she leaves. And time goes on, I visit my relative later on. And she told me that the only times my parking space has been taken is when you've come to visit me. So I'm like, ooh, that's not good. I just started noticing weird stuff. Confrontations where I would go out, like I'd go to the bathroom and I'd be confronted. Someone would walk up to me and go, shh, then suddenly leave. Or go to a Mexican restaurant and there'd be a guy come in, sit. He would say, I want to sit next to that couple. And then while he's eating, he might turn his head and just whistle with food in his mouth. And turn around, or there'll be some kid that might tell the kid whistle. And the kid will turn around and whistle and look right at me. These people will use families. They will use kids. They will use elderly people. They may slander you. You want to have a car camera. These people may say, oh, he touched himself. He's a pedophile. He's a terrorist. He's this, he's that. They will call you everything in the book. And the reason why they do this is because they know what it takes to anger people and to unite people. So what they do is they typically will use a lot of groups which are predominantly middle class, military, groups which have an oath to remain silent. This can be a lot of good groups. A lot of these groups are not bad people. They're just civic groups. They're taking the word of the government. And you have some that they're doing this and they don't care. They're just like, They see themselves as soldiers. They serve their country, and they earned a pension. They're in a large group, and they see it as an opportunity to serve their country again. So they come with a big mob of people from like an American Legion. They may have a title like Battalion 31st or whatever. They may have 800 members. And let's say your police department has 20 or 30 people. So you can see how these activities can easily get out of hand. This is no joke. For a year, I kept my cell phone on airplane mode when I went out, and just a week ago, I decided I'm going to go to Publix and I'm going to take off the airplane mode. So when I pull up, this Jewish guy pulls up, and then I have my window down, and he walks over to my side. He goes, psst, and he walks back to his car door and he leaves. So I go back to Publix 2 days later and decide I'm going to take the airplane mode off. Once I park, about 45 seconds later, I see a guy. He's driving really, really fast. So that means that, you know, this guy most likely was very close by. So when he gets to where I'm at, he parks. I park far away from all the other cars in the parking lot. In the very corner, he parks next to me and he whistles really loud. He gets into his car and he leaves. So I go back again a couple of days after. And this Jewish guy comes with a black woman. And he just sits there, stares at me, he honks his horn, he backs up, and he leaves. So they do a lot of stuff just to systematically annoy you. It's not counterterrorism. It's not public safety. It's not about stopping crime. They just want to annoy people. See, perps are like warmongers. They want to pretend like, oh, we're fighting for democracy, we're here for Ukraine. But what they do is they constantly instigate violence, terrorism, problems. See, what we're experiencing, fellow TIs, is similar to what we're seeing Russia experience. Russia does not want to have a NATO presence nearby our border. It's like right now, we don't want Russia in Cuba. So why would we want NATO in Russia's backyard? It's no difference. There's no difference, right? But they want to play along as if there is. They're a Christian nation. They're against homosexuality. They're not into communism like people think they are. They're not a communist country. They're a capitalist nation. So they've changed. So what we do is we try to oppress the person, and then when they react, oh, they're a terrorist threat, they're this, they're that. When they've shown all this restraint they can, they've tried communicating, they've tried saying, hey, this is what our concerns are. And then the enemy will say, you're a threat, you're a terrorist, you're a bad person. And they get all these nations, community mobbing. So they mob the nation and then they seek to harm the people. It's like right now, a lot of Venezuelans are fleeing to our country. They're coming by the droves. And what happened is that we place sanctions on the people, on the nation. Hold on one second. Make sure my camera's not going dead. So the people started dying of starvation. Kids died. Can you imagine you have to bury your child? Or you're a doctor and now you have to prostitute your body, sell yourself so that way you can feed your kids? And then you're like a bone. You're dying where you can see your bones. That happened in Venezuela at one time. We tried to ban them from having food. We tried to kill these people, murder them. I'm like, oh, we love God, you know? I don't think a lot of Americans would approve of, killing kids. That's what we did. So, America's a great country. I'm not anti-government. But I just view things differently, I guess, than maybe the majority of people. I don't know. I'm not a liberal. I'm just, I'm against warmongering, getting involved in other nations' affairs that are nuclear powers. So we are dealing with people that they want to promote violence. They want to pretend as if they're the good guys. And then they utilize large amounts of people. So if you're an American, you do not want to go to a country where DHS provides foreign targeting opportunities to diversity and inclusion groups or radical feminists like the CIA or FBI or DOD. They're all interagency partners. So that means that they're all going to be sharing resources to target you. You're not going to find any help from your politicians with this. There's a select few that may help you. You need to understand that the government is not going to help you. I have a sheet, and it's filled with agencies, our conversations, the video proof, where they slam phones and say, we're not going to help you. They're a federal agency, like the FBI, where, according to their laws, they have a duty to investigate crimes. Try calling them if you're a target and saying, hey, look, I got a stack of 45 computers, my nonprofit to help veterans. All the computers have been attacked. Forensic specialists are saying that it's a cyber attack. Can you help us? That we have proof of death threats, of stalking. What does the FBI do? Click. So you can't talk to these people. So the Secret Service, FBI, DHS, NSA, all these groups, Army, they're here to serve the government, not the people. When something goes wrong, like remember what was it, Katrina? FEMA made the military take away people's guns. So when people were in places full of water, people got raped, people got shot, people got hurt. So when all hell breaks loose here, you're going to find out who your friends are. Because people are going to come in and try to control you, micromanage you. So people are trying to micromanage you. They want to control. They want to handle you. They want to make you sick. They go into restaurants. They go into schools. They go into airports. I dealt with the CIA at the Philadelphia airport. My relative was just dropping me off. And they said, go ahead, bypass all checkpoints. I'm like, what? This is before, what was it, TSA pass, whatever the airports have where you can pass checkpoints. And I'm like, within a minute of getting there. So they told me you can pass all checkpoints. These people know you're not terrorists. Their thing is they want to exert their power over you, and they want to be like, they want to mess with you. So I get to I got a guy walking me and a relative. Instead of the relative just dropping me off saying bye, they're like, hey, you can come too if you want. They're like, well, sure. So they sat with me while my plane came. And there's a man and a woman wearing black shades. It was a really gloomy day that day. And they're the only ones wearing black shades, black tie, and a black suit. They talked to the guy up front. He treated me badly. I was treated bad on the flight. I was seated between two fat people, clearly carrying guns. So I asked to be moved. Because I told them they're constantly putting me in that side door. I told them I get my airplane tickets away from that door. I like to be close to the bathroom. So if I have to go to the bathroom, I don't like being between two huge people. I like being seated in the back. Nearby the restroom. So, anyways, to make a long story short, every flight I was taking for years, I was being seated right next to two huge people. So I was like this right here on every flight for years. I never was able to enjoy my flights. Matter of fact, I'm going to start making videos of it. And one flight attendant told this guy, stop harassing him. I'm on this flight, and they put me near by the window, and I asked to be on the outside seat. They changed my seat, and the guy was wearing a suit and shades. The whole time, he's like this close to me. The whole entire flight. Even the guy behind me was like, Mr. Can you leave this guy alone? I think he told the flight attendant, because the flight attendant told him off, and I said, thank you, guys. I've been going through this for years. Like half my life, I can't even enjoy a trip. Then I'm harassed at the airport upon landing. They walk up to me wearing a black suit. And I had this one guy, he came with like a small laptop computer, these real small ones. He opens it up and he does this right here. And he goes, dealing with some really sick people, fellow TIs. Well, I got to get some gas. I just wanted to pause here because I didn't want to end this video. Let me pump some gas right now because I got a little drive. Stay strong, safe evidence. One of the most important things that you can have if you're a TI is proof that the federal government refused to investigate. So if anything goes wrong, they can say, oh, this and that. It doesn't matter. You can't blame mental illness, past criminal history for these types of things. Something goes wrong. I'm a nonviolent person. But if one of these people come at me with a gun here in Florida, I can protect myself. And I wouldn't kill these people. I would just shoot them in the leg. I'm old-fashioned. I'm not into killing and all that stuff. My thing is walking away from a problem. I got time to deal with these teary-eyed terrorists coming around looking like they're going to cry and then harassing me. They're doing this because they're scared at times. They know that if what was occurring to you was to happen to them and their family, they'd probably kill you. I don't kill them. I just walk away. I'm against violence. Anyways, God bless. Peace.